He makes everybody better.
Yep.
He can have the ball a ton, or he can have the ball not that much, depending on who's out there with him.
Yep.
And he is literally, if you were drawing up from scratch, who would you want in the 2020s as an offensive player? You would pick somebody with his skill set. How the fuck did you do this twice? You get Dirk, you come to the league with Dirk, and now it happens again.
Luck. You don't let anybody tell you otherwise, right? I mean, obviously we were really sold on Luka, really sold on Dirk, and hoped they would be great. But, when Dirk came here, I was a fan, and everybody was calling him just another big white stiff that the Nelsons drafted, right? When Luka got here, there were people saying the same thing. There's the Mavericks, overemphasizing foreign players and this and that. I mean, and so we had to take a chance. And I'm not going to lie and say we knew he'd be this good this fast. No chance, right? But that's just the you never really know the chemistry and the mental wiring of a player until they're in those circumstances. And Luka just has that mental wiring. He wants to be the best, and he will work his ass off to get there. And he's demanding of people around him, and he's demanding of himself. And when you get that combination along with skill and talent, then that's when special things happen. And plus, with the game changing more to shooters, and like if we were in that elbow pick and roll, right, or pick and pop era, like we were Dirk and Jason Terry, it'd be a little bit different, right? It'd be a little harder. It's not that Steve Nash and others weren't great, but this plays more to Luka's strength, because by spacing all that space with shooters all around him, he's so strong. He can get to the rim, and he was one of the top 3 finishers in the NBA last year. And now as he becomes a better shooter with good shooters and defenders around him, we'll go as far as Luka takes us in terms of his improvements.
I think you're being too diplomatic. You guys knew he was going to be this good. There were some of us, I include myself, because I was
in a heartbeat. I would take credit in a heartbeat. I'm just telling you the truth. We had every inkling he was going to be amazing. I mean,
you know why? Because we had a whole season where he was 17 and 18 playing against fucking adults and was dominated them. I still can't believe it. I will never get over him going to 3rd in the draft. It's unbelievable.
It was just like, I remember watching that, and it wasn't so much watching the video. It was watching the players that he played with defer to him. Deferring, I mean, grown men who had been in those leagues and the NBA for years wanting the ball in his hands. That's all I needed to see. Because their self-interest was, no, give it to me if that's going to win us the game and, get me paid more. But nope, they deferred to Luka, and that was incredible to me.
Well,
he's not like anybody else either. I mean, Luka's his own guy. You can't say, okay, this is the pattern. He's this, and this, and this. Luka's his own guy setting his own path.
Well, it's interesting that if you were starting a franchise from scratch right now, and you could have any player, the two guys, you could have anybody for the next 12 years. The 2 guys would be Luka and Giannis. For me, it would be in that order. So maybe a couple of people would have Giannis ahead, but neither of them are American players, and both had these atypical experiences that make me wonder, like, is that a fluke, or is there something we can learn from that?
With Giannis, I remember watching the 2 videotapes we had of him in the Greek League, and we had a plan because we were still trying to maximize Dirk. It was 2 years after we won, and so we had to get down to the 18th spot to have enough cap room to sign a guy that we ended up not getting. And talking to our guys, they're like, he's the real deal. He will be the real deal. I'm like, here we are at 13. If no one sees him and knows him just after these 2 videotapes, he'll be there at 18. If we had gotten Giannis, we wouldn't have Luka.
Well, here's the thing: you didn't know Giannis was going to grow 3 inches either. I mean, that's a case where that took some real luck, and it was a nice pick by Milwaukee. But at the same time, the Luka thing, it was crazy as it was happening, because it was clearly, I think the thing that's changed the most, even in the last 20 years since you've been in the league, you come into the league and the mindset is you got to build around a center. If you could have anything in the league, you want a center, you want the next big guy, you want to find the next Shaq. And now to me, it's like, I want the next creator. I want the next Harden/Luka type guy.
Not just a creator, but if you look at Kawhi, Luka, LeBron, Giannis, the bringing up the ball, they're all 6'7" and above.
Yes.
they're all super strong. And they all have enormous basketball IQs. So they can bring the ball up, control the tempo of the game, create shots for themselves, get to the basket, create shots for other people as well, and see over, right? They're not the little, water scooter bug like we talked about AI, who doesn't have the same passing lanes when you're five guys out, right? And so that's just, I think the game is evolving where, being able to have that big guy who can see the court and get to the rim and create and pass is really, where you're going to start building your teams.
Well, and also if you're saying the ceiling for Luka is can he be one of the best 7 or 8 players ever, which I actually think is conceivable. Especially if you look at his first 2 years, he had the best second year of anyone probably ever. But you look at Jordan and LeBron specifically, physically, they figured out how to carry the load of doing 95 to 100 games a year and keep going. LeBron's the ultimate example of that. He's like an alien. And that's where Luka has to get to. Physically, he is strong enough. You know better than me about the conditioning and how he's going to treat his body, all that stuff.
No, he respects his body. He knows he only goes as far as his body. And I mean, I talk to him almost every day or text him almost every day. And, he was a little bit off this year simply because we didn't know the schedule coming back, and guys have their routines to get back in shape. And Slovenia was on lockdown hold, so he didn't have access to a whole lot of stuff. And so, he's not where he wanted to be coming in, but he's getting there very quickly. He's got the discipline to do it.
Do you look at the weirdest part of this is that he shows up during Dirk's farewell season, basically, and they cross paths. You're talking about this could be 40 years of Mavericks, and they end up like crossing paths for 1 year. It's just bizarre.
Crazy the way it turned out. I think it was great for Luka. I think it took a lot of pressure off of him because it was Dirk's farewell tour everywhere, and he didn't have to come in on a, less than stellar team and all of a sudden prove that he's got to be great. There was no pressure on him from that perspective. We wanted to win more games, but we didn't have to win a lot of games. There was no playoff pressure because, we were featuring Dirk. We wanted Dirk to have fun. We owed it to him. And I think that really helped Luka. And even, in his last year, Dirk was, a man of habit and precision in everything he did. So I think it really really showed Luka the way to go.